Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book haul of the 29th of January. Now, I went up to London yesterday, bought a number of books. I always buy loads of books when I go up to London. And also, when I got back, this came through the letterbox from Amazon. This has been on pre-order for quite a while. It's one of those ones where it's sort of not yet dispatched and then suddenly not temporary, unavailable. And finally, it did turn up. So, Marvel Superheroes, Secret Wars. It's fairly thin omnibus. It's, you know, I know a lot of people put comments saying that, oh, it would be nice if they'd included this, included that, and it would have been. But you can see what's included. You've got Thor, you've got some She-Hulk, you've also got some What Ifs, but you've also got the 12 issues. Now, I never read this when it came out. I read odd issues, I picked them up over the years, but I didn't buy them religiously all the way through. I don't know why, but anyway, I didn't. So it's nice to finally get them in a complete story. And so far, I've got about halfway through. Thoroughly enjoyable so far. And you've got Spidey there, obviously being transported to the world that Beyonder created. And of course, you've got loads of great characters. Now, some really unusual characters also, because you've got Enchantress, Ultron, Molecule Man, Doctor Doom, Galactus, slightly oversized there. You think he'd shrink down a bit. He's always varying in size anyway. Why not? Ultron must destroy you. That's the best way to help things. So Absorbing Man there. And of course you've got the heroes as well. You've got Thor, Captain America, and many others. Though there's some real noticeable sort of exceptions. I just think, why didn't they include Red Skull would be an obvious one, why they haven't included him. But there's also other characters. Doctor Strange. There's none of those sort of the Defenders. You haven't got Silver Surfer. Now Silver Surfer would have been an interesting one to include. So you've got Molecule Man there. And many other characters. And also what happens, they introduce some other characters halfway through sort of time. Now Kang, he's a bit of a slightly to the side most of the story so far anyway. Maybe there's more appearances that he comes later, but I don't know. But of course the story changes slightly later with obviously Doctor Doom. Slight spoiler there, but Doctor Doom always, whatever happens in any book, always ends up taking control of things. So you've got Magneto there, which is quite nice. The relationship Professor X, Magneto. Now, I didn't follow all the X-Men comics later on, how the sort of relations started to form. But obviously, they knew each other earlier, but it was still... At one time, Magneto, for me, was always the villain. But how he sort of slowly became more the hero, then villain slash hero slash villain, I'm not so certain, because I just didn't follow those comics. So, but it was nice to see in this. And you've also got, like I say, Galactus there, and many other, and of course, good old Enchantress always at the background there. But this one, really nice. Looking forward to read the rest of the story, and I will do a proper review of this book at some point. But once I've finished it, of course, it's nice to finally, I say, get to read this omnibus edition. Now, they have been running for a long time in Gosh, lots of these old books. I think there's, and I don't know, so I'm not certain, I'm just saying, I think this was part of an estate sale that was about 3 or 4 months ago, 5 months ago now. It's a long time ago. And they've been steadily getting rid of all these various books. They've had Marvel Masterworks, they've had omnibuses, some going in like £5. Really great prices. And this one I've just picked up, and I think it's near enough. Basically, it must be the end now, because there's very few there now in the box. And you've got here £3, and it's really nice, but it's in Italian. It's very unusual, but it's a nice sizable book, about the same. It's actually it's actually bigger than the omnibus edition. I mean, quite often a lot of these European sort of magazines, books often do, and some great artwork all the way through. I think there's a lot of different artists, because it's in Italian, so I can't work out. I read and studied Italian for a little bit, but I must admit my Italian is very rusty. And you've got, I assume, they're all the artists. Now, Battaglia I do know of, but some of the others, now someone will turn around and say, no, that's the publishing house, which is quite possible. No, I think that's the down there. You can see the edition there. But it's got a nice little introduction, again, unfortunately, in Italian. So I might be able to get through that at some point. Of course, there's always good old Google Translate, so I can always, if I can't work out certain words, I think, oh, I just worked that out using that. And you can see the artwork there. It's in black and white, very nice, high quality. I love these sort of books. You get lots of these great European sort of editions. This one obviously is not hardback. Quite often you get like the hardback ones. But very nice quality. Obviously you've got some separate, I assume, from that, all different stories. So I've looked at this magazine for a long time. Shift Presents, but I've never bought it. There's one that's been in the shops and I've been thinking, I must, but well, as soon as I saw this one, Brian Bolland, The Actress and the Bishop, I thought, yes, $7.99, the complete strips, all new prose episodes and interview, and also something even better at the back. Great little, but it's got an introduction, and you can see there all the contents, and just beautiful, absolutely stunning artwork from Brian Bolland. Always amazing. I love his work, and some more work there. But the best thing for me, it's got lovely prose in here as well. Also some great interview as well. Got there, The Man on the Mower. Now, The Actress and the Bishop, the creating behind the scenes. And it's also got, and I better avoid showing that page, it's got the preliminary sketches, which is just great. I have never seen any sketches by Brian Bolland. Maybe there's been books out with his work that shows all this sort of thing, but I've never seen it. So as soon as I saw this, I thought, yes, I can definitely get that. I love these sort of things. I would, I wish they were included in lots of different magazines and books. So, really nice collection for $7.99. Probably should be available, I would imagine, from your local W.H. Smith's, but I got this in Gosh, along with a few other things in Gosh, like that book as well. This one, I love this. Ace Comics. Now, I've bought loads over the years of alter egos. I've got a number. I haven't got a vast. I don't always keep everyone. I've got some that I really like, and then others I've just got rid of because I've read them. Thought I'm not going to keep that. Otherwise you pile about 5,000 miles high. And of course now most of the time I buy them online, the digital ones. But you've also got there, and this one is from 2017. The reason I bought it, Ace is High. I quite like books about publishing houses. I like books about them. Also I love magazines and Aces. Now I didn't realise that Ace had such a history. I was staggered by that in this, the contents of it. You've got Delled Gold Key as well, which is good. Also, of course, you've got the usual sort of things about Fawcett Collectors of America. Always an unusual section, I always think, at the back. But you've got this guy. Obviously, the guy, the publisher, that did it, pulp, comics and paperbacks. Ace. It was all the books. All those massive ones, those sort of double ones that you used to get, double science fiction ones. Just amazing. Unfortunately, it does include some of the pulp ones, like that one there. Love fiction, those sort of things. These ones are probably very hard to get, the Western ones, Skybirds. But again, you can see Aces in the title there, very convenient. But also, of course, your comic, Lash Lightning. It's got a lot of information about it. You've got the 4 favourites, which is, sometimes when you look at these, you think, oh, it's going to be a sort of super team up. But it's not. You've got like Lone Warrior and many other characters. Super mystery comics. I always love the fact they always had to have the comics in the title. Don't normally see that too often now, do you? Comics written in there. Lash Lightning. Gives a lot of details, lots of, obviously, examples of all the various works. And also, I'm just gone past that article. But I didn't realise at the end it was talking about also about the books. I just didn't realise about all the various Ace publications. I should have put 2 and 2 together on that one, but I didn't. However, Delled Gold Key and King, again, another fascinating article. Lots and lots of examples, Magnus, Robot Fighter, Mandrake, Phantom, etc. So you've got that. I love those Flash Gordon ones. Also Magnus, Robot Fighters, very good. Oh, that's lovely. I didn't see that one before. Got the nice sketch there. Beetle Bailey, I always enjoyed reading those. They were always great. I'm not so certain I particularly love them nowadays, but I remember at the time always thoroughly enjoying them. Otto Binder as well, that book there. Jungle Jim, and this Bill Harris is talking about. Oh, The Spawn of Mars. Fanzine years. Michael T there. That includes that. And then, Unknown, I love that one. Unknown Worlds of Science Fiction. Really, really good book. Magazine, Bullet Man, Captain Marvel, and much, much more. They always include the Captain Marvel Fawcett at the back. Just weird. Very unusual. But still, I love it. I bought it for the Aces. Ace Comics. So it's Far-Flying Heroes of the Golden Age. Mostly, I buy them online now because they've got a Tomorrow's website. You can get them digitally. Because I'm not always up to London all the time, and sometimes these issues of Alter Ego. Actually saying that, I haven't recently seen many copies of Alter Ego around. I always see back issue. See lots of copies of back issue, but not so many of the Alter Ego for some weird reason. Or some of the others. It's very strange. Just suddenly thought about that when I've seen them in the shop. Now this one, I'm probably not going to say his name correctly. Heinrich Campendonk. Apologies if I say his name completely wrong. But this is a nice little thin book. But this one is from Hirmer, and I really think they're brilliant. They bring out loads of great little books. And this is quite a cheap little book, but nice quality book. It's got a nice feel, very nice. And I didn't know anything about the artist. You know what? And I thought, I must find out something about him. I was looking online, but it's just nice to get a nice little quality book like this. And this is a nice book. It's small. It's not a huge book. It's not like... Hirmer bring out lots of real thick, chunky books for about £40–50. You can buy them for a bit less. And I love them. But this one, also, it's just really good. Just exactly right. Got lots and lots of examples of his work all the way through. And, well, I think there's a series of these as well. They've got, at the back, they've got a long list of, let's just have a look, already published. So you can see some of the other artists they do. But I think Lionel, I can't say... Again, Lionel Feininger. Now, you sort of connected with comics, so that's sort of interesting one. I might check that one out. And also, they've got lots of other ones. Again, lots of artists that I'm not that familiar with. Like Hans Perman. I must admit, I don't know. Marianne von Verficken. Anyway, these sort of books are just great. Just to fill up, fill some gaps in terms of my knowledge about this sort of period, and also, just generally art history, which I'm always fascinated by. This one, maybe I shouldn't have bought it, but I love these sort of things. I love price guides. I don't know why, especially since I don't collect comics in that sense. I don't look at all things. I'm like, oh, it doesn't. So the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide, but it's still fascinating. I love looking at these because this is the first edition, 1933 to present, because that's the earliest sort of comics. Now, later on, of course, they included probably material even earlier because, of course, there's the Platinum Age or whatever they've decided to call it. But you can see when I mentioned about Ace, so you've got here Ace magazine, there's Ace. So it's always fascinating, like fiction. I've got a book on Fiction House, King Features, also entertainment, EC, entertaining comics. Very odd, isn't it? I always just see EC comics. You never really think Atlas, ME, and Avon, Standard, Quality Comics, MLJ. Now, many of these, of course, have all long gone. Some have, some haven't, and they've all been bought up by different people, and you can see some of the various things. Sadly, some not so much. However, this one's Comic Book Price. Now, it's printed okay. That one, I just looked at it. Maybe it's just my eyesight. It was slightly a bit of a blur there. But it's still how brief history of comic books, comic fandom, how to collect comic books, and so on. Follows much the same format as now. And even the style, the way it's done. But it's just fascinating, of course, to see. I'm not going to tell you all the prices and things. Obviously, that you buy the book. But this one, all American. You've got like issues 9, 10. You've got the origin of Green Lantern one, obviously issue 16. And it's like mint condition, $50. Which is... At the times, I don't know what the exchange rate was with the pound in the UK. I can't remember now. Probably, I think, about £2 to £1 to $2, I should say. I think it was about that. So you've got to think. But of course, anything comes from the US over here it often ends up the same price. It always seems to anyway. So you've got here Batman #1. So, but when you look through this and you think, oh wow, some of these. And I started collecting around about 71, 72. First Marvels were about 72. I bought before that, of course, 67, 68 was fantastic. But I never thought about buying stuff from America. So when you look at this and think, oh, you know what, that's $2. My paper round, I could have bought some of these. I just didn't. I didn't think, the idea about going out buying these things would have been, and buying it from the States would have been amazing. Just wouldn't have come. The thing you got here, Criminal Patrol, good one, 7 to 14, like $4. But it's also got all the pictures, of course. You've got small. Now, of course, this book is not huge. The one that really, and I always still regret, and I've mentioned this a few times, and I shouldn't mention it because I just think it just annoys me every time. And that is, and it's not in here. Oh, New Book of Comics. No, it was More Fun, so it's More Fun. Yeah, issue 1. It was called New Fun Comics at the time. And issue 1, mint 100. Now, the copy I saw wasn't mint, but good, it was $60. It was actually only for 40. 40 was a lot. It felt, and I didn't know anything about it, and I regret sort of not buying that. Occasionally, just, I think every comic fan must have that sort of, there's certain comics over the years you think, why didn't I buy that comic? Fantastic Four #1. Of course, you can look at all the obvious suspects. And I think even the Amazing Fantasy doesn't go for very much, relatively. Fantastic. But it probably gained all good seeing it in this sort of book is actually finding it. Because sometimes, of course, if you're out in the middle of nowhere or it's not easy to get to unless you've got mail, and you have to trust that when you send your money in mail order, that you can actually get it. And that was always the worry. That was always the worry for me. I always think, well, you know, send it off. But this one, you got here, issue 1. I mean, good condition, $20, which is not bad. But then again, you've got here, you've got some of this, and I'm just going to go to Two-Fisted. Two-Fisted, just flicking through this, and of course, now that's weird. Two-Fisted Tales. The way it's done seems to have, hasn't got the listing. Oh, this is. No, the price for the first issue of Two-Fisted Tales is about the same as the Fantastic Four. But also you've got ads at the back, which is great. So you've got here, the reviews are in, and we're in our second printing. And it's got, obviously got details about the collector's guide first. Now these sort of books, isn't it? That would be brilliant to get a copy of that. Gosh, wow, not the gosh that I went to. The fanzine and comic art. You got here, I buy collections of comics or related materials, large or small, Harry Thomas. Just a little back. Congratulations, and you've got other various things at the back. I love this sort of book. Really, really nice little price guide. I've got a few price guides, but this one, of course, is the first. This is a reprinting of the original. It would be nice if it was original. The original one is a collector's item itself, so it's nice that this has come out in this format. Very nice guide. It's, you know, brilliant enough. Now, this one I've already done a review of. I love this one. Defenders. Got this a couple of days ago. Absolutely brilliant. Colour all the way through. Just got... I should have bought the Omnibus edition maybe when it came out. I didn't, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to get the epic one. And it's got great little stories. And you can see volume 1 there, and it's got all the various Doctor Strange, Submariner, Marvel feature, and Defenders 1 to 11. And you've got a small selection, but not that many. Bonus material at the back. Of course, you've got the classic story in here, Avengers Defenders War. That was just a really amazing story. You've got all the Silver Surfer battling against Scarlet Witch and Vision, etc. So I love that one. The Nude, A New Perspective by Jill Saunders. Now, I can't show you the pictures in this. Not that they're anything particularly... it's all Renaissance pictures generally and various other medieval. And the reason I bought it was because of the medieval. I love medieval art. And it's got some ones I've never seen before. So it's just absolutely stunning. I mean, there's a page there. I mean, this is the sort of thing. The Nude, that's all this. When you're talking about Renaissance and many things, lots of other arts. Obviously, you can see Munch on the front cover. It goes through all the periods. Really, really nice quality book. Yet another one of those books that I picked up in my local Oxfam that I think, oh, lots and lots of paintings that I've never seen before. So, really pleased with that. And another book I bought at the same time as that, and this is the last one, but this one I think is stunning. Shepherd's London by J.F.C. Phillips. Absolutely beautiful. Love books about old London, Victorian London, that sort of period, Georgian period London. And this is full of like things, Royal Exchange, just lovely pictures and drawings of the era. Things like the Strand, and you just look at those pictures. I can spend hours looking at these pictures. Just think, wow, look at that. Imagine that sort of, now you just wouldn't see, obviously it's nothing like that at all. It'd be very shocking if I suddenly saw loads of guards going through like that. This one's great. The 2 smallest houses in Holborn, obviously long gone. And it's also fascinating, I always find, is these things. 30H Pacey 30, it says. I love the fact they've got the numbering. Makes a Pacey at the top as well. They were really... Nowadays, of course, you get a little sort of thing, and it just says XYZ. 2 weeks later, of course, the shop's gone. These people like really went for full on. This is my shop. This is, we're proud of it, and we're going to be here for 100 years or more. I don't know how long they were. Actually, saying that, that looks really... That's a very unusual one. That's a French one there. And you've got cleaner, dyer, and scourer. Now, I know what's scouring, so it's just unusual that you've got suddenly scourer. And you've got Hooper and Sons next. I don't know who they were. But you've got Gloucester Lodge, Regent's Park. Just again, stunning pictures. Ruins of New Brunswick Theatre, or Digging Up the Fleet, or the French Horn Yard. I mean, what great names as well. That was another thing. They always had great names. My apologies, the sun is just suddenly come through. I can suddenly see I'm getting blinded by the sun next there. But wow, I mean, that is what you call a yard. Shaney Walk, I never say it right. Shaney Walk, looking west. I love that area. Chelsea, just absolutely amazing. Again, very, very different, of course, but it's still staggeringly wonderful there. Let's just go through one more. The clearance of Garrick Street. And you got, like I said, everything changes. It's always, I actually went up to London, like I say, yesterday, and wow, those like news places, I was thinking, when did that suddenly turn up? I was only there a week ago. Now there's a new building. It's like, sometimes that's how it goes with London. You think, mysteriously overnight, nothing happening. You see all the builders working and things, and it goes slow. Then suddenly bang, ooh, 10-foot, 100-story building suddenly mysteriously appears somewhere. You think, that wasn't there last week, I'm quite certain. But London, I guess, is like lots of cities, always eternally changing. And I love these sort of books to record, obviously, what it looked like in the Georgian period, Victorian period as well. As ever, of course, I've got some more books coming. Went up to an exhibition yesterday. Really brilliant. It was the best exhibition I have been to for ages. Horror show. Really odd, quirky stuff. It was all like 1970s, 80s, 90s, etc. Just very strange. Like J.G. Ballard, Ian Sinclair, script for Wicker Man, tons and tons of things. And also punk, of course, witchcraft, and everything. It was just the oddest of exhibitions. Beautiful, superb artwork. Really glad I went to see it. But I went through the bookshop at the end, and of course, as always, there are loads of books, and you think, oh, that'd be great to have that one. That'd be brilliant to get. And I picked up the Defying Gravity. And must admit, I've been calling it Defying Jordan, but it's called Defying Gravity by Jordan. And it was all the punk period of 1970s, called 76, 77, that sort of period. She worked in the Sex Pistols shop, the shop related with Malcolm McLaren to the Sex Pistols. And wow. But I put it down, and it was one of those ones I walked out of the exhibition, of course, and then I thought, oh, why didn't I buy that book? And I've ordered it, so hopefully it's coming today. Looking forward to it. It really just seemed to cover a vast amount of material of that period, and I love that sort of time, so I'm looking forward to that. And also I've got Captain Marvel, the Omnibus edition. That should be coming tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to that as well. That's Captain Marvel 1 to 33. Also got Marvel Superheroes 12, 13. Now, I don't know if it will come tomorrow. It's one of those ones that says it's coming tomorrow on the ordering, which doesn't mean anything. It might be like 2 weeks' time. So it might suddenly go into temporarily unavailable mode, as it often does. And I've got a few other books as well coming, of course, pre-ordered as well. And there's always new stuff coming out all the time, of course. I have also, I think, oh yes, got the Ant-Man one as well. Looking forward to that. The second epic. Finally finishing off those Ant-Man Tales to Astonish stories that have been sort of like... Now, I know I could have got the essential book. I did have the essential book for the Ant-Man one. But it's... and also includes the Marvel feature ones. And I have never read those stories all the years. Issue Marvel feature, I think it's 4 to 10 of Giant Man. Also, it's got Black Goliath in, and I think a few other stories as well. And also, obviously, the more modern Scott version of Ant-Man. I'm looking forward to that, so that would be great. And there's probably a few other ones as well. So, well, I hope you found this book haul of interest. Please put in the comments below what sort of books you bought this week. Have you bought any great comic books? Have you got any great suggestions of books you bought that you're currently reading? As I say, I'm just reading The Secret Wars. Looking forward to finishing that over the next day or so, hopefully. And I say, any other comments, always great to hear. Bye.